woo. Big ass shit, man. Big blood. H-Town, what it is? Country niggas talking shit, man. Show you how we put our folks. Yeah. Let him murder gang squad. Black. I'm a boss. Yeah, this field with a lot of murders. I ain't deep. Young nigga shit. They laughing at the nigga. I don't really fuck with niggas. MKM murder gang, bitch about yeah, blood gang, nigga. Red gang, yeah, we live in catch up. Hey, you hatin' catch up, nigga. Run up on me, get your ass wet up, nigga. From the head to your chest. Lick it on your bitch, motherfucking neck. Yeah, I'm sucking on neck. I don't give a fuck, I'm in the streets, I finesse. Finesse a bitch for a motherfucking check. Yeah, nigga, I be on some real G shit. Big gang, blood gang. 5'9", fuck wild, fuck bang. MKM bitch murder gang. And we in this bitch and we do our own thing. Yeah. That's all nigga on some bullshit. No bullshit. K-Dog shit out that long, nigga. Beg me out, man. I beat it that shit.
Oh, my dogs, ride with me.
5'9", 282. Blood love, you know what it is. H-Time, nigga. What's up, Northside? Burger gang.
My side.
Northside.
I wish a nigga would.
Wish a nigga would.
I'm righteous to the blood.
I'm righteous,
hey,
blood.
When I be gone.
Shoot. Know what it is? YKG. K-Gang.
Hey.
Everything money, nigga.
We ain't trippin', Cali.
Just some H-Time. Blood shit going on down here. You know what it is. You know what's poppin', blood. What's up, cuz? What's up to my folks, nigga? What's up, Houston? You know what I'm talking about? Much love in the H, nigga. You know why we poppin'. It's fives around here.
Hey,
Big B's, Tom P.
Yeah. My dog.
This
I ride with my dog.
You know
my dog's gon' ride with me.
Everything. Love you, K-Dog. You know what it is. What's poppin'? SDS, what's poppin', blood?
It's your boy TMB with Monkey Man. So it's this dude I be watching, man, young brother, man. I asked him, and he got a nice following, bro. Let me see. Let me go to his page. From what he got like, his name is XEVI. I'm gonna share his link in the chat. But this young nigga, man, he breaks down stuff and it make it so like he make it seem so simple about certain shit that goes on in this celebrity world. I don't know how to say his name. Like I say, it's XEVI. So I would say Xavi, because I know when you have an X at the beginning, have a Z like sound. So I don't know if the nigga name like. I don't know. I'm just gonna share his shit though. I am gonna share it. Or I copied it. Let me go to my page right quick, my YouTube page, and then we finna go down through there. And I'm just gonna, give some reaction and feedback on what I feel about. So we got the first one is the Young Thug situation explained, but let me share right quick his page. Yeah, that's it right there. All right. So bam, let me go back. And here we go. Hold on, I gotta wait till the commercial go by. These bitch ass commercials. Skip.
Reading his RICO charge, he made a couple phone calls. Now these phone calls have been leaked. That's his problem. because in these phone calls, he's talking to a lot of people about a lot of things. And he believes that they're private phone calls, so he's sharing his private conversations. And think about yourself. Think about private conversations you've had in the past when you're talking to somebody really, really close to you. Some of that audio you don't want leaked out. Well, in Young Thug's case, he's talking about some very sensitive information, like he got no care in the world. Now, to go a little deeper, there's actually two aspects to Young Thug's problem. Listen to this next part closely. There are the jail leaks that we just talked about, and there's another leak. Now, why I call this two separate incidents is because they happen at separate times, okay? All the jail calls that were leaked happened when he was facing his RICO charge, okay? The other leak where he's talking to police happened way before he was arrested for a RICO charge. That's important. Now, during the jail calls, he's just a little gossipy. Remember, he's talking to his friends, his homies. He really thinks, hey, this ain't gonna get out. So he basically said stuff like, Gucci Mane, maybe he's soft. He said, now, keep in mind, a lot of this stuff is clip. And why I say that is because specifically for the Gucci Mane example, I'm telling you, the clip going around is Young Thug calls Gucci Mane soft. But honestly, there's a little more to it than that. Young Thug is more or less saying Gucci Mane was mad at somebody. Gucci Mane went to jail. Gucci Mane got out of jail, and he stopped being mad at that person. Gucci Mane is soft for not being mad at that person anymore. Maybe he went to jail and turned soft. Now, I bring that up not to defend Young Thug because he called him soft still, but I want you to understand that there's still more context to this stuff. It's not, he's just not straight up just coming out talking smack about people. You know what I'm saying? All that to say, most of Young Thug's jail calls are surrounding that. It's just, he's been a little messy, nothing too crazy. Now, there's one call in particular that gives a little insight into Atlanta as a whole. Young Thug is speaking to his close friend, 21 Savage. Young Thug is speaking about what Gunna did during the RICO trial. If you don't know what a RICO trial is, it's basically they gather up members of a group and they categorize the whole group as a criminal organization, okay? So they pull in Gunna, they pull in Young Thug, they pull in a bunch of people. They want to label them as a criminal organization. To label them as a criminal organization, you have to have people in that organization say this is a criminal organization. Now, usually in RICO trial, police and the feds, they're just going for the person at the top. This was created for the mafia, so they can go for the mafia boss instead of like the lower level folks. In this case, it was Young Thug. So they gathered up Gunna and a bunch of people from YSL and said, look, all you need to tell us is YSL, Young Thug's record label, is a criminal organization. All y'all walk away. Now, if every single person in YSL said this is not a criminal organization, everyone walks away. But that's not realistic, right? So the lawyers are scrambling together and saying, oh, if you don't say it's a criminal organization, Gunna says it's a criminal organization. Gunna and multiple people in YSL said it is a criminal organization, so Young Thug's case was kicked off. So Young Thug in jail after.
So it wasn't just Gunna. It's a multiple people in YSL, not just Gunna. Let's go.
This happens. He's talking to 21 Savage and he's saying he cannot believe Gunna did that. He's very upset. 21 Savage is telling him, well, I don't think Gunna did it to hurt you. It just made sense for Gunna to do that. Young Thug says he doesn't care. It broke his heart. 21 Savage brings up a very good point. He says, well, didn't you tell your brother to do the same thing as Gunna? To say YSL is a criminal organization so we can get 0 years? Young Thug denies this, but Young Thug actually did tell his brother to do that. So it seems that Young Thug saw the reasoning as to why somebody would say it's a criminal organization, but he just felt hurt hearing Gunna say it. He expected more loyalty from Gunna.
He expected him to go down with him.
Because remember in the beginning of this video, we said Young Thug basically has two problems. His jail calls were leaked, and then earlier recording of him talking to police were leaked. Well, people are basically saying, look, you're upset at Gunna for talking to police. Everybody's calling him a snitch. Young Thug, you calling him a snitch. But you was talking to police too. What's going on? Now, let's figure out what's going on together, because here's where things start to get weird. Now, first things first, Young Thug's conversation with police is way before this RICO situation. This conversation is taking place because Lil Wayne's tour bus had just recently been shot up by a man named Pee Wee Roscoe. Basically, police were trying to connect some dots, okay? So they bring in Young Thug and they tell him, Young Thug, Tugga, as some may refer you as, you don't need to talk to us. They stress to Tugga that he does not need to speak to them. They stress this because they don't want all this information they have to be locked down later by a lawyer saying Young Thug didn't have his lawyer present, all that. So they tell him, you don't have to speak to us. Young Thug says, they say, you really don't have to speak to us. They say it like 5 times, I'm telling you. Young Thug says,
Restreams, upload and stream is how podcasters,
Young Thug want to talk.
fitness coaches, even business professionals grow.
Young Thug says, no, I want to. And this is when people say, oh, there you go, Young Thug. You could have just got your lawyer. You could have just walked out, which Young Thug absolutely should have done. Because side note, police brought him in because his name, Young Thug's name, was connected to Pee Wee Roscoe, Lil Wayne, to the whole shooting situation. They already booked Pee Wee Roscoe. They already had evidence against Pee Wee Roscoe. They just wanted to see if they can get Young Thug too. The police kicked things off by being real cool, you know? Officer goes, man, I listen to your music. Thug goes, really? He said, yeah, man, you want some food? You hungry? Thug goes, yeah, I can use some food. Give my boy some food. That's Thugger. No, but seriously though, you know Pee Wee Roscoe? Thug goes, I mean, listen, write that down. Thug said, Officer said, God, don't worry about that. That's just a formality. And therein lies the issue. You see, the problem with Young Thug speaking to police and people speaking to police without lawyers present is because you don't know what the police are looking for. At this point, the police seem to be looking for a general framework as to what they wanted to work with, of the goings on in Atlanta, in a sense. To build a sort of a file, it's hard to know why police are asking certain questions. For example, at one point, Young Thug seems to be trying to help Pee Wee Roscoe. He says, I thought Pee Wee Roscoe and Lil Wayne were close friends. And then I hear they are saying Pee Wee Roscoe had shot up Lil Wayne's tour bus. I was shocked. Young Thug is saying that. He thought they were friends. Fast forward to today's time, to recent time, Pee Wee Roscoe comes out with a video saying, in his opinion, Young Thug was trying to help him by throwing the police off, by saying Pee Wee Roscoe, Lil Wayne were friends. Everybody cool. Okay. Let's go back to the tape. Again, the problem is Young Thug and Pee Wee Roscoe, they're not playing the game that police and lawyers are playing. Police are taking that information and saying, okay, Lil Wayne friends with Pee Wee Roscoe. I don't believe that. Let's throw that away. The police say, okay, so Young Thug, you don't really know Pee Wee Roscoe like that. Young Thug says, that's what I said. I don't. They said, okay, but Pee Wee Roscoe says that you paid him to shoot up Lil Wayne's tour bus. Young Thug says, man, Pee Wee Roscoe ain't said that. They said, oh, I thought you ain't know him. Young Thug said, they said, write that down. How can you speak to somebody that you don't know? What's going on? Write that down. Young Thug said, I ain't say that. Like, I'm just saying he wouldn't.
This is why, and I'm going to stop that right there on that one. This is why you don't talk to police without your lawyer present. You don't answer no questions. I don't give a fuck. Hey, well, we're going to put you back in the hole and say, all right. I'm not saying nothing until my lawyer comes. That's the whole reason why. But you niggas don't want to listen to the old school OGs because y'all think y'all know the game and going out here fucking up the game. Fucking up the game. That's why, man, at the end of the day, if y'all want these niggas to be y'all role model, cool. But just know y'all being led into a goddamn burning building by these niggas y'all call so-called, I guess, because I'm trying to figure out how to do a nigga in the dress. Trying to figure out how to do a nigga in the dress, dog. Have any control over niggas that don't wear dresses because he got the money. See, that's that shit that fucks me up. Now, let me play this shit here. This shit here so funny, man. Hold on.
NetSuite has
I'm at the fast forward. Y'all know how this shit goes.
ensure the team are working on more value-added tasks. So
So NBA Youngboy was just sentenced to 23 months in prison, which is a pretty good deal for what he did. You need to listen.
Cause he really supposed to get locked up for
They
this
caught
shit.
Youngboy pretending to be an older woman named Gwen, and at times pretending to be a doctor, all in order to get prescription, stuff. Now, as insane as that might sound, the evidence against him was pretty astonishing. But to understand everything, we need to go back. Now, first of all, for those of you that don't know, Youngboy never broke in. Very, very popular rapper. Now, when I say very, very popular rapper, I mean very, very popular rapper. A lot of people don't know how massive his fan base is. He generates billions and billions of streams. In fact, for years, he's been YouTube's most streamed rapper, ahead of Drake. And he's usually the second or third most streamed artist on YouTube, right behind Taylor Swift. He's also the youngest artist to have 100 songs on the Billboard Hot 100. Now, this is important because you need to see how much money he makes for himself and his record label. That means they don't want that boy in jail. He's going to have the best lawyers. And well, his lawyers prove just that. Because before the charges where he's pretending to be a doctor and all that, he has had many other charges. All of them revolving around him having them.
So understand why this dude, that boy, Trump pardoned Youngboy. So to get these pardons, bro, you can't just be no regular nigga. Like, you gotta have some people to vouch for you, bro. Like, some real powerful people. You can't just get a pardon. Like, Trump ain't just going around pardoning these niggas because he like these niggas. No. It's some niggas with money that's saying, hey, man, I need this nigga out, man. We losing money every time he's sitting in jail. Long as Youngboy free, long as Kodak Black free, long as Lil Wayne free, it's gonna be money generated by the higher powers, man. And the higher powers are the ones that's getting these folks out of jail, bro. For real. That's why he can go and imitate, because that there alone is a federal charge. That's identity theft. You feel what I'm saying? Then just playing with pharmaceutical medicals, man, you writing false scripts. You false identifying as a doctor, you false identifying as a patient, bro. That there alone gonna give you fed time fucking with that pharmaceutical company, bro. And like they say, cause see, the feds go by points. And with the record Youngboy got, 23 months is a slap on the wrist. He probably got way more time than that.
Now, the most important ones that lead up to him being sentenced is first, he allegedly hops out the whip and starts at people. They say, yo, Youngboy, you finna be locked up for this. Good lawyers, remember? They say, hey, come on, man. Come on. The judge says, well, you make a pretty good point. Judge says, look, Youngboy, we finna put you on probation. You can't have one of these things, and you can't hang around certain people that'll get you into trouble. The judge says, cool. The lawyer says, you got it, judge. Ain't that right, Youngboy? Youngboy said, the lawyer said, ain't that right, Youngboy said, oh, yeah, that's right. And well, this brings us to our second case. Youngboy driving around, and people start at him, not his fault. They hit a girl that he's with. He brings out his and starts back. But he's not supposed to have one of these, remember? Now, here's the thing. It's not his fault, though, right? It's looking like self-defense and all that. But the police say, hey, what about the people you was with, though? That's the problem. Because remember, he's not supposed to have one of these, and he's not supposed to hang around certain people. So they said, you was hanging around with those people in that whip. So that's what we're bringing you in for. The lawyer says, come on. The judge says, all right, well, you have another good point. Youngboy, you really need to stop. Youngboy says, I told you I was going to stop, didn't I? Third case, Youngboy out shooting a music video. He got a whole bunch of the dudes with him, a whole bunch of the guys. They all got their in Youngboy's music videos. Post it. Somebody sees what's going on. They say, ain't that Youngboy? They send a tip to the police. They say, yo, I see some folk doing some very sketchy things. The police drive over. They see Youngboy. They say, Youngboy, you're not supposed to be around these things. Youngboy goes, oh, yeah. They bring Youngboy back over to the judge. The lawyer looks at Youngboy, says, you're tripping, but let me see what I can do. He looks over at the judge and he says, Judge, come. Judge says, that's not going to work this time. Lawyer says, okay. Hear me out. What if we send Youngboy over to Utah. Maybe the surrounding scene of Louisiana, that's where YoungBoy's from, is, making him do these things. How about we send him to Utah? He used to be out there for an outreach program. Let's send him over there. The judge says, all right, we're going to send YoungBoy over to Utah. I don't want to hear about this ever again. He's going to be on house arrest. The lawyer says, it's Utah. He's not going to do nothing wrong in Utah. Ain't that right, YoungBoy? YoungBoy says, I'm not going to do nothing wrong in Utah. Now, all this is alleged, by the way. I forgot to mention that. Anyway, he's at Utah, and pharmacies keep getting calls saying, hey, we need to pick up our prescription. We need to pick up our prescription from this one doctor. Let's call him Craig. Craig just keeps calling in saying, yo, I need prescription for my patients. I need prescriptions for my patients. Pharmacies are getting suspicious because this guy's calling a lot. So they tell him, look, we need you to send over a copy of this prescription you keep talking about, Craig. Craig says, cool, I'm going to get back to you. They tell him, wait, hold on, Craig. What are your doctor details? The doctors have like special numbers and identification numbers and all that. The pharmacy gets the doctor identification number that he supplied them, and they actually look up the doctor, and it's Craig. And they say, okay, well, he must be legit. They call and say, Craig, you just called to order some prescriptions right now, right? He says, nah, I never called. It must be someone who stole my identity. Now the pharmacy is really sussed out. So they call the police. They say, yo, we've gotten a bunch of strange prescriptions, mainly from this doctor named Craig, from a bunch of older women saying that they need a prescription. So the police tell the pharmacy, okay, look, don't say anything. Call them, tell them.
This is called not crossing your T's and dotting your I's. If you're going to scam and you're going to run a scam, make sure that everybody's in on the scam. Now, you can't use a doctor name without the doctor knowing. Now, I'm pretty sure if YoungBoy could have got the right doctor like some of these niggas in Houston do, he would have got the right doctor. He would have had all that shit. You see what I'm saying? But that's where you need the old school niggas in there. Where the old school niggas come in there. What you say, Young Thug? With two for a necklace of Young Thug. But one thing I know about YoungBoy, that nigga throw that chain out the window right now after all that shit he doing. I bet you that. Bet you throw that chain out the window. But yeah, and that's the thing about it, bro. Like if y'all gonna be doing drugs, you gotta have people connected to that shit, bro. You can't be doing this shit yourself, YoungBoy. That's the shit they be tripping me out. Like a lot of these niggas get away with it because they have people that'll fall for them, and they gonna have it to where it can't even really touch the artist. But then when you can touch the artist the way these niggas being touched, bro, and having access to, and then ain't nobody being smart about this shit. Ain't nobody telling YoungBoy, man, you think this shit gonna work? Like, they so scared to question this nigga because they know that he'll fuck them off. To the point they just do crash dummy shit. Ain't cool with the crash dummy shit.
You're gonna accept their prescription and tell them to come in and pick it up. Pharmacy says, okay, cool. So the next time they get a call from someone saying, oh, my name is Gwen, I need my prescription. The pharmacy says, sure, come on in. The person on the phone says, my younger granddaughter is going to come in and pick it up. The pharmacy says, of course, come in and pick it up.
First of all, can nobody come and pick up a narcotic for you unless you're sitting right there with them or you have some type of documentation saying that you can pick up a narcotic. He's getting perks, handlebars, and shit. You can't just send no random to come get this shit. That should have been a red flag on their behalf. But they so geeked out, they so dope fiend out, they don't even see the underlay for the overlay.
Police, meanwhile, is waiting, posted. Somebody comes in YoungBoy's car. It's two women associated with YoungBoy. They walk in to pick up the prescription for Gwen White. I actually need to say the full name because that's important. They walk in to pick up the prescription for Gwen White. The police say, come on, you're going to jail. So the police take the two women associated with YoungBoy and they bring them to the station. They take YoungBoy's car and they put it in an impound lot, waiting for someone to call and pick up his car. So they put that trap on the side. They're waiting for somebody to call for the car. Meanwhile, they look at the two women associated with Youngboy and they say, they look at the two women associated with Youngboy and they say, come on. They say, no, we was just picking up stuff for our grandma. And here's where things start to get wicked. If this story couldn't get any weirder, the police get a phone call from Gwen, basically saying, y'all got my grandkids locked up? They was just picking stuff up for me. The police look at the phone. They say, y'all say your grandma, Gwen White, was calling, right? The girl said, yeah. The police say, ma'am, what's your name again? She said, my name is Gwen Cox. See, the problem was that Youngboy allegedly was using so many different names for older women. He was also using doctors' names. He got the names mixed up. He used a name Betsy Cox for like another thing. He's getting the names mixed up, allegedly. So he says Gwen Cox. The police said, you cannot make this up. It was also reported that the person calling them was obviously a younger Southern male from Louisiana or Texas pretending to be an older woman from Utah. At one point, the person on the phone says, let me ask you a question. Ask is basically how they say ask in Louisiana, Texas, and some other states. Not Utah. The police sitting there shocked. They said, when's your birthday? The person on the phone gives them their birthday. The police said, okay, how old are you? The person on the phone goes, damn, they slipped up trying to do the math and they had the police say, you know what, don't even worry about it. Just give us your address so we can come over and talk to you in person. Person on the phone says, nah, I'm good. Hangs up. At this point, the police are like, okay, this has to be Youngboy, right? Ring, ring, ring. It's the next day. They're trapped with Youngboy's car, springs up. Youngboy calls in and says, yo, I'm trying to pick up my car. But he calls the police. They said, oh, perfect. This is the police. He said, oh, no, I'm trying to call the impound lot to pick up my car. They said, no, don't worry. You could talk to us. He said, okay, let me ask you. They said, oh, Lord. The police said, stop right there. We come into your house with a search warrant. At this point, it's enough to get a search warrant. So they pull up to Youngboy's house. He says, all right, y'all search what y'all need to search. They search his house and they find prescription bottles with different names. Gwen, Betsy, all the names that was used. Youngboy said, damn, I didn't think y'all was gonna find that. They said, okay, Youngboy, come on. You going down to the station. Now remember, he was supposed to be on house arrest for all them other charges. He was supposed to be extra good. And now they find out bro has different names, pretending to be doctors, trying to get prescription, this, that, and the third. Judge said, oh, you wildin'. But Youngboy's lawyer pulls up. Lawyer says, okay, look. Step one, why don't we just put everything together? Youngboy has all of these charges. Let's just put them all into one trial. Let's just save some time. Everyone agrees. Youngboy got charges for this. Youngboy got charges for violating probation. This one thing with him pretending to be doctors and all that is already 63 charges on its own. So they said, let's just put all the charges together. Now, it also turns out the feds were in charge of some of Youngboy's cases. Now, this is a blessing.
And this is the part I don't understand. How the fuck y'all get all these charges and then get a slap on the wrist, dog? Even the same thing with Trump. How in the fuck you got all these federal charges, bro? Cause one thing I know about the feds, bro, they don't play no games, bro. Like, you can't just fuck over the feds. Or the fuck over the feds, you gotta have some power, dog. Or you gotta have some evidence to prove. Because the one thing I know about the feds, they not gonna fuck with you unless they know for sure. Feds don't go off of no he say, she say. They will. Now, don't get me wrong. They investigate probably off of some he say, she say. They're not taking you to court over no he say, she say. That's why their conviction rate high like it is. That's why their conviction rate is high. That's why the federal government conviction rate is high like it is. What that nigga talking about Dirk? Cause I don't like that nigga.
Create a voiceover using your own voice.
Yeah, who died?
Customize with AI to fit any story.
All right, so Lil Durk had a problem. As some of you may know, he was just arrested recently for allegedly hiring people to Quando Rondo. Those people, Quando Rondo's cousin, but well, that's still very illegal, so they arrested Lil Durk. Now, I want you to listen to this next part carefully. You see, how they basically caught Lil Durk, I explained it in some other video, but in a nutshell, the people he hired were stupid, and they left a lot of alleged trails that led back to them. The police went over and said, hey, y'all want to sing or y'all trying to go to jail? Some of them said, oh. They started singing. Now, this is a trend you'll find in a lot of cases. Somebody messes up, police go over to them and say, hey, we caught you, you messed up. Give us everyone else or you're going to jail forever. Usually people start singing. That also applies to another case Lil Durk is allegedly involved in, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. Lil Durk, again, had a problem. The people he be hiring don't be thinking. So for this case we just talked about Quando Rondo's cousin tragically getting, Lil Durk said, look, I ain't do it. Give me bail. That means release me until my trial actually comes and then we could talk about it. A judge then decides, hey, should I give this person bail or not? So Lil Durk's lawyers come out and say, look, it's Lil Durk. It's Durkio. He famous. He not running away. Plus, we'll give y'all $3 million for bail. The bigger the number, usually a judge might let him go. The other side, the prosecutors, the police are like, no, Lil Durk is a danger. He has a lot of power, and our witnesses might be in a lot of trouble if y'all let him go. The judge said, well, how y'all know that? The police said, well, we got another case for you, and it's a doozy. So then police released details on Lil Durk's alleged revenge against the people that his brother. Now, his brother's name is D-Thang. D-Thang and Lil Durk, very, very close. And the thing about Lil Durk is he be riding for his people. His label's called OTF, Only the Family. So people he considers family, he's very connected to. So his brother one day goes to the Ops neighborhood for a party. He had a club, he having fun. The Ops say, what's he doing here? They confront him, an argument ensues, and D-Thang is tragically. Now, Lil Durk is torn apart by this because his close friend King Von and his brother get around the same time. Like, it really puts him in a dark place. So allegedly, then Lil Durk says, hey, it's time to them folk that my brother. Now, Lil Durk is way too famous to be running around doing this by himself. So he says, yo, let me hire some people to do it. I got money. Now, you can see a lot of similarities to the Quando Rondo situation if you've seen that video or you've heard the story before. So Lil Durk basically puts out a message. Anybody that wants to, those people that, my brother, let me know. Lil Durk is a big guy in the streets, but he can't just tap somebody and say, yo, go. Those people, this ain't the mafia. People are gonna be like, yo, no, I'm not risking jail forever. So Lil Durk puts out a message. Whoever wants to do it, come forth. Two people come forth. Say, hey, we're willing to do it. Now the streets talk. Rumor has it this person did it. Rumor has it that person did it. But a big rumor starts floating around that this dude named Fred did it. No, Fred's not his real name, but I'm not gonna use their real names or their real pictures because I don't know, people get whatever. This ain't, look, Fred did this.
Not Fred from
y'all two that I just hired, Shaggy and Scooby. Y'all gonna get this done. Now, here's where things start to get stupid. Shaggy and Scooby say, gotcha. Shaggy and Scooby hop in a whip. They start driving around Chicago. They get the drop on Fred. They find his location. They start waiting for Fred. They see Fred walking down the street. They get out the car. They chase him down. Now, how do police know all this? Well, there's cameras everywhere. But Shaggy and Scooby aren't that stupid. They got masks on, they got shiesties, they got everything black. You can't tell us them. All good. So they chase Fred down. They get Fred. Shaggy turns around and says,
Put Shaggy turn around and say, I got it here, but y'all want to go to commercial, right? With Shaggy really tell some good shit. What Shaggy say?
Chase Fred down. They get Fred. Shaggy turns around and says, yo, Scooby. Starts shouting out his real name. Now, technically, he's shouting out his street name, but it might as well be his real name. He says, yo, Scooby. Scooby, where you at? Scooby like, hey, yo. Shaggy said, they hop hop back in the car. Shaggy puts his phone in the charger. Scooby said, hey man, why you calling my name? Shaggy said, man, ain't nobody heard all that. Shaggy puts his phone in the charger, puts his phone down. They get out the car. They leave the car because it's an abandoned, stolen car. They leave it. Shaggy leaves the phone in the car. Police find the car. They find the phone. They say, you can't make this up. Grab the phone. They find out the phone is Shaggy's girlfriend's phone.
Wow.
Right? They go over to Shaggy's girlfriend. They say, yo, you know Shaggy? She go, no. They go, you sure about that? Because we have a video of you in that stolen car getting food. And somebody dropped you off to get food. Who dropped you off? She said, I don't know. They said, that's okay. Shaggy, somebody. And if you got them food and you got them gloves, you got them everything they need, well, that makes you an accomplice. Can you say life in prison? She said, no, but I could sing though. Shaggy is a felon. Oh, she starts singing for real. Stan, so she ain't even got to say. She said, I bet Shaggy did it. He a bad dude. She said, matter of fact, I bet he took my phone too. I ain't seen my phone, all that. Now, like I said, on my video, this is the police's game. Remember, this whole time, they're not going after Shaggy, Scooby, this, that, and the third. They're going for Lil Durk. He's the king. But to get to the king, you got to go through the pawns, the knights, the bishops. Right now, they're talking to a pawn, which is Shaggy's girlfriend. A pawn, easy to fold. They didn't do anything too crazy, but police are telling them, look, somebody, you finna go to jail for life with them. Or just tell us what they did. Allegedly, same thing for Lil Durk's trial that they actually really want him for. In Quando Rondo's cousin, they hit up people who booked the flights. They hit up people who set people up together. They get the pawns to connect the knights and the bishops to the king. If you've never played chess before and this all sounds confusing, then, well, I'm sorry. But anyway, back to the case with Durk's brother. So they knock down the pawn. They figure out, okay, Shaggy, she said, he's connected all this. The girlfriend just basically confirmed it, but well,
and a lot of these murder, and that's the thing about it, bro. It's a nigga in 1990 that got killed, and we still don't know who did it. And that nigga could be walking. See, that's the thing about it, bro. Like, these niggas kill these niggas, jump online, get to talking about, yo, we did it. This nigga talking about, hey, man, if anybody do it, come holler at me. Come on, man. Yeah, man. You know what these niggas say? Yeah, nigga, I killed that nigga, man. I'm finna go holler at Durk. I know this nigga told 20 people plus the bitch. This is what they need for street cred. They think this shit is building their street cred. They think this shit make them the man. And the whole time they setting themselves up for failure. Like, motherfuckers ain't gonna tell. Like shit dies off. This shit don't even die off with these niggas. Like, it'll chill for a while. The next thing you know, whole murder case.
Can't just go knocking down Shaggy's door. They need a lot more evidence. So now it's time to bring in other pieces. This is what the police usually do next. They'll look around for somebody that is probably connected to this whole thing, somebody that knows Lil Durk, and pick them up on like some random charge that they know they did, like a charge. Man, jail for like 4 years. Then they tell them, look, instead of 4 years, we'll give you 1 year or maybe no years if you tell us certain things that we want to know. So they pick up somebody who I believe was not in Lil Durk's gang, but was a rival Lil Durk's gang. So he's like, ooh, I would love to snitch. Now, gangs and their ops know everything about each other. They know the nicknames, they know where they stay and all that. They trying to each other. So they tell bro, hey, look, you see this video of this dude calling out for Shaggy? You remember when he was calling out his bro's name? He said, you see this video? Is his real name Shaggy? The op said, yup, that's his real name, Shaggy. And he be hanging out with, you know what? He got a mask on, but that looked like Scooby. Police say, great, they getting a little closer. Shaggy and Scooby probably in the location. Shaggy girlfriend said, Shaggy a bad dude. Matter of fact, Shaggy girlfriend comes in and said, y'all need me to unlock the phone? Police said, oh yeah, unlock the phone. She unlocks the phone. They said, okay, cool. They find that Shaggy got a bunch of missed calls from Scooby. They said, okay, well, that's enough. They knock on Shaggy's door and they say, yo, give us your phone. Shaggy said, what? He said,
most niggas go to jail behind the bitches they fuck with. You knew motherfucking well what type of nigga you was fucking with when you fuck with him. You knew this nigga was a drug dealer. You knew this nigga was a killer. While or during you was fucking with him. As soon as the shit hit, now you bitches want to deny the nigga. But you were loving the nigga. You letting the nigga put babies in you. All this shit. He probably was taken care of before the shit hit the fan. Now he out here struggling, sucking and fucking the ops or his homeboys to try to make ends meet to take care of that child. But I'm just saying, he's not right. I'm not saying you're not wrong. But you're only wrong when you know what the fuck you signing up for. That's what tripped me out about you niggas and bitches. Y'all act like y'all don't know what the fuck y'all signing up for. You know motherfucking well. When you met this nigga, he was not no athlete. He wasn't doing nothing positive. You know this shit. And you studied. Go fuck with this nigga. Not just only do you fuck with this nigga, like I say, you have kids by this nigga, man. Then soon as the nigga get caught up in some shit, you deny this nigga in everything. You'll deny this nigga in everything. And then, like my nigga Mike say, you got some nothing ass some niggas and bitches that was down with the play too, right along with the play too. But soon as the nigga go to jail and get in trouble, now everybody got something to say. I know motherfuckers tried to talk the bitch out of fucking with the nigga. Nah, you know who you fucking with? You know that nigga a killer, right? I don't know what the bitch might have said to be like, I'm cool with it. I don't know what the bitch said. Yeah, but he changed and he say he trying to change and all this shit. Or I don't know what the bitch said, because at the end of the day, the nigga never changed and you still riding with the nigga. No, I don't know what the nigga said to you. I don't know what you thought. I don't know what, but when you get with these criminal niggas, bitch, you are a part of the bullshit. Half you niggas, half you hoes listening to these songs, and y'all want these type of niggas. So if you want these type of niggas, you want these type of problems. If you fuck with niggas in the streets, you're gonna deal with niggas in the street problems.
Give us your phone. We got a search warrant. Give us your phone. Shaggy said, okay. He gives them the phone. The police grab the phone. They unlock the phone. They find a couple texts. And here's where it starts to get wicked. It's Shaggy texting Scooby. He says, yo, what's going on with OTF? Remember I told you, OTF, Only the Family. That's Lil Durk's record label. But don't worry, it's not on Lil Durk yet. Shaggy could be asking about anything. Scooby says, look, Shaggy, he comes here on the 17th. It's assumed Shaggy is wondering, when he's going to get paid. Scooby's telling him he comes on the 17th. Shaggy says, so we getting paid? Scooby said he comes on the 17th. Shaggy said, okay. 17 comes around. Shaggy says, hey, I saw you with Lil Durk. And now Lil Durk's name is mentioned. Ain't no OTF. He said, Shaggy said, I saw you with Lil Durk. Scooby don't reply. He probably thinking at this moment, Shaggy's stupid.
No, for
but Shaggy
real.
don't stop there. Shaggy says, so did Lil Durk send you the money? And that is how we get to the king. The elected people who did the saying, did Lil Durk give you the money? But if you know anything about the feds, they love to be extra sure that they are going to get their man. Yeah. So they also said, oh, by the way, we listen to some of Durkio's songs. And a common trend Lil Durk likes to do is he likes to rap about things that maybe he shouldn't be rapping about. Look, they can't bring him to jail for lyrics, but they can reference them. Maybe not in actual court, but how these papers go is they say, look, this is what I found. Me being a police officer, me being a prosecutor, this is what I saw. I was listening to a Lil Durk song, and he said, yo, they got my brother D-Thang, so we got him back. And then Lil Durk proceeds to go into detail about how they got him back.
Wow.
So think of it as like a TV ad with a catalog component where I can choose on the Roku app and immediately it's...
And then Lil Durk proceeds to go into detail about how they got him back. I'm not saying we using lyrics, but all I'm saying is I heard this song and Lil Durk said this. Now, the craziest part about the feds is, like I just told you, they like to be extra sure that person that they chalk.
Like I told y'all, the Feds not going to fuck with you unless they know for a fact they got your ass. They don't go, they gotta know for a fact. I keep telling y'all this. I know too many niggas that done been to the Feds, the beat Fed cases, and then got locked up Fed case. It comes to the point where you don't even fight these hoes. You just take the time. Don't even go to trial. You only go to trial when you think you got a way of winning. If you know you dealing with niggas, you better sign for time. Because you can be all the way in the clear and one nigga say the wrong shit that'll get up here on this stand. All it take is one, if your shit ain't solid, like I say, if your shit solid, they not finna even fuck with you. Now don't get me wrong, the Feds will do a long-term investigation because that's how they had to get guided. It took a lot to get guided, man. That's where this RICO shit come from. Because the Feds created the RICO because they could never pinpoint the nigga doing it. But if we can pin one of these motherfuckers to say that he's a part of it, that's where conspiracy come in. If we could get one person, like he say, did Durk pay the money? At first he asked him when OTL coming to town. We don't know who OTF is. It's a gang. So it's a bunch of these niggas. So we don't know who OTF is. The nigga say, man, he'll be here on the 17th. So we're going to get paid, man. The man going to be here on the 17th. See, that's what I'm saying. I hate broke niggas, but then we use broke niggas to do the shit we need to do. To me, this nigga could have did this shit by himself. Because the nigga that did all the work is the one that's wanting to get paid. And he want his money. He fucked up right now, man. When he killed these folks, man, I need my money. I feel like I'm finna go to jail. Let's go.
Is going to jail, meaning that they had all of this information, but they wanted more. Sure, this information looks bad, but they didn't want a single chance that Lil Durk, who's going to hire an amazing lawyer, is just going to say, Shaggy and Scooby, I don't know what they talking about. They just crazy. You can't actually link the money that Lil Durk may or may not have sent, allegedly. So the feds didn't even use this to charge Lil Durk. They really want him for the Quando Rondo thing. Lil Durk allegedly hiring people to Quando Rondo's cousin. They are simply just using the story about Lil Durk getting revenge for his brother to paint a picture, just so Lil Durk doesn't get bail. The judge said, Lil Durk, you don't get bail. And well, Lil Durk was denied bail. As for what happened to Shaggy and Scooby, I don't know if they got booked for this or not. See, the funny thing is, when it comes to snitching, not snitching, the whole thing really is a chess game. They didn't need those pieces, right? This whole thing, again, is to make sure Lil Durk doesn't get out for bail. So Shaggy and Scooby saying, hey, can you give us less time? We know we were connected to Lil Durk, this and that. Guys are like, we don't care. We just wanted him for the bail thing. We got enough. You guys can go to jail for life. Or maybe the feds use Shaggy and Scooby later. They might open up another case against Lil Durk. They might open up a separate case for Shaggy and Scooby. I believe they booked Shaggy and Scooby on different charges, and they're probably keeping them in jail until police can confirm if they actually did the revenge for Lil Durk's brother or not. I'm not so sure on that information, I'll be honest with you. Because I was mainly focused on showing y'all who Lil Durk is up against. And now you see who he's up against. But who knows? Lil Durk has really good lawyers.
And that's another thing. We never know. But when you got that money, boy, anything can go. Anything can go. This is going to be the last one right here.
Don't upload your videos to YouTube. Upload to Restream, where we will live stream it to YouTube.
All right, so against all odds, Diddy managed to escape his major charges. Out of 5 counts, he was only found guilty for 2. Now, first things first, how did Diddy get in this position in the first place? Well, for those of you that don't know, Diddy has been in the eyes of the law for decades. There's been rumors floating around about Diddy for a long time, whether it be Tupac, whether it be Biggie whether it be Kid Cudi's car getting blown up, whether it be Cassie, all these rumors around him have been floating around for a long time, right? But it seems like the feds, the people investigating him, just needed a spark. And that spark came in the way of Cassie, Diddy's ex-girlfriend. She sued Diddy for like $20 million. Let me double check. Yes, it was indeed $20 million. Now, Cassie is so important to this whole case is because she's kind of like the anchor to the case. Like we said, there's rumors floating around. Diddy did this, Diddy did that for decades, but these are only rumors. So the feds busting down his door and locking him up for rumors, it's not a good look for the feds. So they needed something to come out big against Diddy. Cassie suing him for $20 million. Cassie wins the lawsuit. The people start to turn on Diddy. The feds have a really good witness in Cassie. She was in there. She saw everything. Hello. It's time to make an arrest. So boom, the feds bust down Diddy's door in a surprise raid and find thousands of bottles of baby oil. What do you think he was using that baby oil for? He was doing some freaky things. Let's just say that. In fact, his events were called freak-offs. The feds said, "Ooh, boy, we got him now." They said, "Diddy." He said, "Huh?" They said, "Your time has come. You finna get locked up." He said, "Who time? Y'all know how much money I got? What y'all charge me with? Being a little freaky?" Now, this is true. You can't charge Diddy for having freak-offs. But again, the feds have been watching him for a very long time. So they've compiled a list of things that would be guaranteed, in their eyes, guaranteed things that would stick. And what I mean by that is the charges you bring up on a person are very important. Let me put it to you like this. Certain things they probably won't get Diddy for is Diddy blowing up Kid Cudi's car. The police say, "Damn, I really think Diddy did it." But that's going to be hard to prove against Diddy and his team of lawyers. Diddy, Tupac. The feds say, "Ooh, we think he did it." But dang, that's going to be hard to prove because, again, Diddy got that team of lawyers. So they came up with 5 charges. They said, okay, 1, Diddy transported workers of the nighttime across state lines for his freak-offs. Now, this is illegal because paying people to watch Netflix, if you don't know what that means, look in the comments, is illegal in most of the United States. Only select parts you can do this at. Now, since it is legal to pay people to watch Netflix in certain parts of the United States, they needed to make a rule. They said, okay, you can pay people to watch Netflix here, but if you transport those workers of the nighttime across state lines, then that's illegal. You can't do it in California, so you're breaking the law. So they said Diddy did this 2 times. That's 2 charges, okay? Now let me tell you why it's 2 charges. Listen closely.
We're going to come back to this.